these are the all-new Technics AZ80's, a true wireless earbud solution, and there are three main features that I wanted to test out about these guys because, let's be honest, as an iOS and Apple ecosystem user, AirPods Pro are king because of the convenience, the sound quality, and the ease of use. So let's see if these Technics AZ80's can give AirPods Pro a run for their money and maybe have me recommend them over them. But without further ado, let's find out. So let's quickly go through the unboxing experience because it's very simple nowadays, and in the box, what you get is the actual earbuds and the cradle or case itself. You actually get an additional 7 different ear tips, ranging from very, very small to very, very large, because they wanted to make sure that this fit everybody's ear canal overall. And again, giving you 7 different silicone tip options is always a plus. You know, the more the merrier when it comes to that. Then you also get a USB-C to USB-C cable, and then the manual itself. No power brick included in the box, and we can thank Apple for that omission. And then to briefly talk on the design of these things, because they do look obviously different than AirPods Pro. They're designed a little bit differently. They're designed a little bit more ergonomically to fit in the ear and be a little bit more specific into where and what noises are being canceled out just purely by the design itself. So the cradle itself has this like brushed aluminum look and finish to it. On the top side, you just see the logo of Technics. All around is pretty much just black. On the bottom, you get all the information that you need. You have your USB-C port on the back, and this does support wireless charging on the bottom, which is a first for Technics. So if you are somebody that likes to wirelessly charge your headphones, this does check off that box, which is great to have. And then to see the actual headphones themselves, you do have the nice little door right there, which is very, very satisfying. So kudos to them for making that little hinge satisfying. Now the question is, how long will it last over time? But overall, from a build quality standpoint, it does look nice and it fits great. And then you have the headphones themselves. They are kind of this like nub looking headphone. They have a flat surface on the actual ear part itself that you actually interact with. We'll touch on what those do in a second. And there are controls on both sides of the headphone, so we'll be able to not only customize those, but then also walk you guys through exactly what those do, because that is kind of your form factor in the way that you actually pair the headphones, the way that you actually interact with the headphones, the way that you set your ambient noise or your noise cancellation on and off. So those are going to be very important with the actual UI and the user experience overall. And here they are compared to AirPods Pro in that form factor. At the end of the day, they're just different looking headphones, so to each their own. So these are a little bit more compact, a little bit more circular, and they don't have a stem that sticks out like the AirPods Pro 2 do. And from a colorway perspective, you do get this, again, black colorway, and then you also get kind of like a silvery white colorway to choose from. But that is everything you need to know from a design and unboxing standpoint, right? The fit and finish is great. They actually feel very premium in the hand. And for me personally, I just use the ear tips that come pre-installed, which is literally the middle ground. And for me, they fit absolutely perfectly. I guess I have very average ears, but again, you have all those multiple tips to choose from when you do actually start to play around and see what fits your actual form factor and your ear canal. And then finally, before we get into those 3 features that I do want to touch on, I wanted to kind of briefly talk about the spec and what they think they're, at least from a hardware standpoint, is their separating factor. So the first one has to be the fact that they have a new 10mm free edge aluminum diaphragm that delivers decent sound quality overall. Like, I've been testing them out, and yes, for these headphones compared to the AirPods Pro, you can tell that they focus a little bit more on sound versus the AirPods Pro. They're all about convenience. Yes, they have great sound quality as well, but these guys, you know, they've been in the sound game since the 50s, I believe, with their turntables and their sound systems, and Technics knows what they're doing when it comes to actual sound quality. And then also from a battery standpoint, you get 7.5 hours of playback time on a single charge, which is honestly very impressive. And then with actual noise cancellation on, you get 7 hours, and then you get a full 25 hours of battery life when you include the actual battery in the cradle itself, and then you get 24 hours of battery life if you include active noise cancellation. And then for phone calls, you get a total of 13.5 hours, and that'll give you a total of 4 hours of callback time on a single charge with the earbuds. So from a battery life standpoint, these things work great. I haven't had an issue with it. Now, I haven't gone on a long 6-hour flight quite yet, but I've been using them on the treadmill for an hour. I've been using them to take phone calls. I'm using it for a commute that's an hour, maybe even 2 hours. So overall, from a comfort standpoint, it doesn't hurt your ear after using them for a while. Also, the battery life has not been a situation where I'm kind of like, oh man, I'm gonna run out of battery here soon. I've charged them only a few times, and in those few times, I haven't had a single issue with battery life or battery performance whatsoever. So now let's talk about those 3 features that are supposedly the competitive factors of these headphones, because if they can do what they say they do, then these things should give AirPods Pro a run for their money, because One of the best parts about AirPods Pro is just how easy it connects to your iPhone. And then that's going to go perfectly in line with their multi-point connection, which is their first differentiating factor. And again, AirPods Pro, if you connect them to your Apple ID just one time to your iPhone, then you're connected to your iPad, you're connected to your Mac, you're connected to any other iDevice or Mac device that has your Apple ID signed into it. So this multi-point Bluetooth connection tries to mimic that and emulate that to the best that they can without being an actual Apple product. So after you connect it for the first time on your iPhone, let's say, and you want to connect it to your iPad and your Mac, you can connect it to up to 3 different devices. Once they're connected to those 3 devices, the same idea happens where if maybe you're listening to something on your iPhone, but then something plays on your iPad, it's going to quickly connect to your iPad with little to no latency whatsoever. So being able to kind of swap between your devices without having to disconnect one, reconnect the other, because that's one of the biggest detriments, in my opinion, of a Bluetooth headphone that isn't part of the Apple ecosystem. It's just the inconvenience, and disconnect and then reconnect to different devices is kind of annoying. But this new multi-point connection allowing you to connect to up to 3 different devices has been a nice little game changer. And then feature number 2 is something called JustMyVoice. Now, I'm somebody that uses my AirPods Pro 2 literally on a daily basis, and I commute in and out of the city every once in a while, at least once a week. And sometimes when I'm on the phone walking through New York City, even though I turn on noise cancellation and I can hear the other person clearly, the other person on the other line, because there's so much noise happening, whether it's a dump truck, whether it's construction, whether it's just wind, whether it's just people talking, the people on the other line usually cannot hear me, at least not hear me clearly. So that is something that JustMyVoice has taken into account. So these headphones have 8 microphones. So this JustMyVoice technology is just for that situation. So let's say you do have your noise cancellation on, you can hear everybody clearly, and then you have wind and people talking and just a lot of ambient noise in the background. What the headphones do is it isolates your voice and dims down all that outside noise of what is going on around you so that people on the other end can hear you much more clearly. Now, it's definitely not 100% perfect the entire time, but it has helped a ton when it comes to just overall phone calls and conversations via these headphones when you are dealing with a lot of noise in the background. It's definitely exceeded my expectations. I thought it was just going to be like a little bit of a marketing play, but it does work very well because the people on the other end of that phone call can really understand what I'm saying, versus with my AirPods Pro, there's a lot of like, what? I can't hear you. Just call me back later when it's quieter. Whereas I can always hear the person talking. AirPods Pro, when I'm talking to somebody else, a little unclear, but the AZ80's have been very clear overall. So that is the multi-point connection, and then the JustMyVoice, and then lastly is their ambient modes. So yes, you have your active noise cancellation mode, which is great in its own right, and you have different levels of active noise cancellation in the app itself. But on the other side, which is the transparency mode. Now, AirPods Pro have been amazing at transparency mode, whether it is the AirPods Pro or the AirPods Max. People just have not been able to compete with them overall. You can hear people a lot more clearly when they're talking to you right in front of you. But what Technics did with their AZ80's is they added 2 ambient sensor modes, right? The first one is that normal transparency mode where it kind of just amplifies everything around you, right? So whether it is somebody talking, whether it is, some noise in the background, everything's gonna be amplified just a little bit so you can hear everything around you. So then they have a second ambient mode, which is called attention. So what this does, so let's say you are on an airplane or you're commuting to work on a train, or you're just in an environment where you need to hear announcements, right? So basically what this attention ambient mode does is that it takes the frequency of the human voice, right? And as you're kind of walking around, everything around you is dimmed down. Those ambient noises like the truck driving by, like the wind whirling, like the engine on the airplane, just that constant noise that's in the background, that's gonna be dimmed all the way down. And then when it hears a voice speaking, it's gonna turn up the volume and isolate that noise so then you can hear what that person is saying, even though you have your ambient attention mode on. So it's not gonna keep everything loud around you, it's only gonna make the voice loud. And it's worked pretty well so far. Again, I wish I could test it on an airplane. I have not been able to do that. I will be using them in a trip later on this summer. So I'll report back with some updates maybe down below, or maybe with a follow-up long-term video. But overall, I've been very happy with this new attention ambient mode because I haven't really seen anybody else do that in the space. So those are the 3 features which I think are really good separators and competitive factors of these AZ80's by Technics. And overall, the sound quality, in my opinion, is a little bit better overall than something like an AirPods Pro 2. Again, these are a little bit more expensive than the AirPods Pro, so at the end of the video, I'll tell you guys how much these cost. Leave some guesses down below of what you think this is gonna cost. But from a sound quality perspective, it's a little bit bassier, the trebles get a little bit higher, it's a little bit clearer when it comes to actual podcasts, and there's a little bit more of a crispness to it, for lack of a better term, and you can hear individual instruments. So if somebody really likes something like, let's say, the Apple Music Classical application, this is going to be amazing for those people. So that is pretty much going to do it for the review of these AZ80's. I'm actually very happy with them. I was surprised of how well these features really work out in real world practice. I've been testing them out with every single way that I can, in the train, while running, while indoors, while outdoors, and everything just seems to be working as it's supposed to be working. The app is great, the headphones fit extremely well, the sound quality did exceed my expectations, and they are available today, so I'll link them down below if you guys do want to check them out. They'll be on Amazon and they cost $299, but they also have the AZ60's, which are a little bit of a watered down version of these same ones for about $230 or $240, I believe. So definitely check out both of these. They're a high quality brand, they're a well-known brand. They've been around for a while, and if you want to change it up from the AirPods Pro game, these could be a good alternative to the AirPods Pro because of that multi-point connection technology that they added in here. But that is gonna do it for this video, everybody. If you did enjoy, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so that I know you made it to the end. And shout out to Stephen Cunningham for commenting on one of our previous videos. Shout out to you for watching, and shout out to you for supporting the channel. Always like to shout out people that leave a comment, so if you leave a comment on this video, maybe you'll get shouted out in the next one. But if you guys want to watch some more iOS, iPadOS, or macOS videos, click on one of these videos right here. But until next time, I'm Fernando, and I'm out of here, everybody. Definitely give these a shot if you want to try something different compared to the AirPods Pro or AirPods Pro 2. I'm out of here.